Good morning, everyone. So, in the earlier classes, we discussed about tool makers microscope. So, now we are going to discuss about optical projectors. So, optical projectors are also called as profile projectors. So, this profile projector is also similar to tool makers microscope. So, this also consists of 2 micrometers for the movement of table in both directions, in x and y direction. For the movement of table in x and y direction, we have 2 micrometers. So, by means of 2 micrometers, we can identify the linear measurement in individual direction. So, the main difference between the tool maker's microscope and this profile projector is the screen. So, this profile projector consists of an optical screen. So, here it consists of a screen, whereas in tool microscope, it can be viewed through an eyepiece. So, apart from that, everything is same. So, in tool maker's microscope, it consists of an eyepiece for visualization, whereas in profile projector, it consists of a screen. So, here the main purpose of screen is to magnify the smaller components also. So, here a profile projector, commonly called as optical comparator. So, this profile comparator or profile projector, also called as optical comparator, is a device that applies the principles of optics in the inspection of manufactured parts. For the inspection of manufactured parts, we are magnifying the component by means of optical principle. By using the principle of optics, we are magnifying the component. We are magnifying the component and identifying or inspecting the component. So, in a comparator, the magnified shape of a part is projected upon the screen. So here we are going to place our component. So here we are going to place our workpiece or the component, and the component's image is displayed by means of this screen. The shadow or the profile of this component is projecting on the screen, and the dimensions and geometry of the part are measured against a prescribed limits. So after projecting the image on the screen, this can be compared or measured. So it depends upon the application. So if we want to measure, we can measure, or we can compare this component with an existing templates. So if we need to compare the component, we need to replace the component with the actual component, and then we need to identify or prepare a template, so that after replacing the component with our existing component, that can be compared and identify the profile of the component or dimensions or anything, angles as well as measurements, linear measurements, anything, the profile, it means the shape, measurements, everything can be compared by means of this optical projector. Next, working principle of our projector. So here, it consists of a light source. So by means of this light source, a light ray is emitting on the component. So after that, here this is the component. The shape of the component is E. So similarly, this is the component. We call that as an object. So here after the light source, we placed our component, that is in the shape of E. After that, these rays are transferring through a relay lens system. So by means of this, the rays are reflecting on the mirror. So earlier in tool maker's microscope, we used 3 types of prisms, 3 different prisms to travel our light rays. So here we are using mirrors. So by means of this mirror, the light ray is reflecting and it is projecting on the screen. So here the light ray is tilted and it falls on the mirror 1. So after that, it is reflecting to mirror 2, and then it is reflecting on to a mirror 3 by means of projection lens. So here by means of this projection lens, the image is magnifying. After magnifying the component, the image is displaying on the mirror, and that the final image is projecting on this projector screen. So here the light ray is emitting from a light source. After that, in between light source and the mirror, we placed our object. So these light rays are carrying the shadow of our object, so that after falling on the mirror, it is reflecting again on the mirror. It is reflecting through the object through the projecting lens, the image, the size of the image is magnified and it is reflecting onto the projector. So, stepwise procedure for operating optical projectors. So, this is the component. So, earlier the principle, the light source is available here in the bottom of the component. Here, light source. After that, we are going to place our component here. So, component or object. So, this light rays is traveling and then reflecting, and then finally it is projecting on the screen. So, first stepwise procedure. Switch on the optical profile projector. First, switch on the component. Next, place the clean workpiece. Place the clean workpiece on the glass of the table. So, here on this glass table, we are going to place our clean component. Next, focus it properly by moving the focusing wheel. So, by adjusting the focusing wheel, by adjusting the focusing wheel and moving the work table, so by means of this micrometers movement, so by means of the micrometers, we are moving the table and moving the work table to obtain the correct magnified image of the object. So here by means of this focus length, we are changing the position of our table in one direction, and the movement is controlled by means of 2 micrometers in 2 more directions. Next, there is horizontal X measurement can be taken by right hand side micrometer. So this one is right side micrometer. By means of this right side micrometer, we are going to take the horizontal measurement, and the vertical measurement can be taken from the front side micrometer. By means of one more micrometer, we are going to take the vertical measurement. Next, advantages. So optical comparators save time. So by means of this magnification image, we can easily compare. Within the less time, we can easily compare the component with an existing component, or we can measure the component with a less time. So ease of use factors and effective designs. So and effective designs reduce the inspection time. So if the design is correct, so it is very easy to reduce the time. So you can easily identify the deflection. So that it means the deviation, and we can easily inspect within less time. So that retraining cost and the operation fatigue all will increase throughput. So due to the reduction of time, the output of the components, the throughput or output of it means the production rate can be increased. Next, customer heart gauges. So those are gauges. We already discussed various types of gauges. Those are filler gauges, thread gauges, gap gauges, radius gauges. So similarly, some type of heart gauges. So heart gauges are subjected to wear. So during the usage, the components may exposed to wear and tear. So due to that, the dimension of the component can be reduced. And the need frequent recertification. So over a while, the components may wear. So here we need to identify the damage, or so we need to calibrate the component regularly. So which takes them out of service and adds an additional cost. So it measures length and width simultaneously. So by means of this optical projector, we can compare both the dimensions. It means the length and width. So at a time. So by means of a regular micrometer, we can measure only one dimension. So by means of micrometer or by means of vernier calipers, we can measure only one dimension at a time. But by means of this optical projector, we can compare 2 elements. It means both the length and width at a time. So here it's the image. So here by means of this optical projector, so by means of this rectile, we can compare both the dimension, it means length, and the height of the component at a time. So both the components, both the elements, it means height and length, or width or length. So both the things can be obtained at a time. So here one more direction. So both this length and this length, both the things can be compared or can be measured at a time. Whereas the regular measuring devices like micrometer or vernier calipers, we can measure only one element at a time. So here, points in space. So this profile projector can also be used for identifying the points at different locations. So here, it is identifying from here to here, the distance can be identified, or the points in the space So different locations can also be easily identified by means of this optical projector. So next, measuring angle. So here the angle between these two components. So between two faces, the angle is theta. So between these two faces, the angle can also be measured. So one face, the rectangle is projected or coincide with one of the face. After that, this rectangle, this reference plane can be tilted, is rotated, and it is coinciding with the second face. So this one is the phase 1 and phase 2. So earlier it was coincide. So here it is coincide with F1 phase and phase 1. So next it is coincide with phase 2. So by rotating the reference, we can identify the angle of the components also. By means of projector profile, we can identify the linear measurements as well as the angular measurements also. Next, disadvantages of profile projectors. Next, so using profile projector as a fixed device. So comparatively, so micrometer and vernier calipers, those are portable devices, whereas this screen optical projectors are fixed devices. Projectors as a fixed devices forms a disadvantage of it. So due to its rigid construction, those components cannot be portable from one place to another. Whereas the micrometers can be easily handled in different locations and different profiles. It means in engine, different locations can be measured. So while instruments such as micrometer or calipers can be used to reach for measuring far and joint accessible components. So if the components are at different locations, we can easily use the vernier calipers and micrometers, but not these optical projectors. So that's the main disadvantage of our optical projectors. Next, it is large, bulky, and usually required a cart to transport from one place to another. So it's not portable. So if you want to move from one place to another, you will require a transport system. It means a cart or some other methods for transport. So the device requires power for operation. So for micrometers, for the operation of these micrometers and vernier calipers, we doesn't require any power. But for this optical projector, we need power to operate. We need power. Next, applications of profile projectors. So profile projectors have a wide range of applications. So these are used in automotive industry to inspect the surface deformities. So next, in glass production industries to inspect the minute flaws in glassware. So next, it is used for inspecting the components with irregular shapes and sizes. So if it is a regular size, by means of micrometer, we can easily identify the dimension. Whereas if it is an irregular component, so these optical projectors are very easy to identify those dimensions as well as profiles. So these are the various schematics of our optical projectors. So here if you observe on the screen, we can identify the shape of the component. So here this can be used for electronics as well as mechanical equipment and various equipment for measuring various instruments, various components. So here the profile is irregular. Though it is irregular, here by means of this screen projector, optical projectors, we can compare the dimension with an existing component, or we can measure the dimensions from one location to other locations. So this is a line diagram of our optical projectors. So these are the two views, one is the front view and the side view of optical profile projectors. So this is the large scale optical projector. So here by means of this projection, we can easily identify the small irregularities or flaws. So here the magnification of the component is high. So for the minute dimension also, it can be magnified highly, and we can clearly observe the profile of the component. Next, autocollimator. So this is the schematic of autocollimator. So autocollimator is used to identify the small angles also. So here, if the component is making it is a straight line. If it is making small inclination, so the small inclination theta. So by means of this autocollimator, we can easily identify the small deflections also. So autocollimator is an optical instrument used for the measuring of small angular differences. So used for very small, if it is a very minute, we cannot measure those angles by means of angle gauges. So in the earlier classes we discussed about angle gauges for the measurement of angles. So by means of angle gauges, if the angle is very small, it is very difficult to identify the angle. So by means of these autocollimators, we can easily identify those small angles. So for small angular measurement, it provides a very sensitive and accurate approach. Next, it is essential an infinity telescope and a collimator. So it's a combination of telescope and a collimator combined into one instrument. That instrument is called autocollimator. So this is the schematic of our autocollimator. So principle of operation. So here by means of a light source. Light rays are emitting and it is projecting on a collimating lens. By means of a light source, light rays are emitting and these are falling on a collimating lens. The purpose of collimating lens is to convert the inclined rays into parallel beams. So here the inclined rays are converting into parallel beams and it is projecting on a reflecting surface. So that is plane reflector. So on a reflecting surface. So this one is our surface. So the rays are projecting on the surface and it is reflecting back. So it is projecting on the surface and it is reflecting back. And projecting on the same collimating lens and it is converging at a single point. So when a beam of rays coming out of a monochromatic light source or monochromatic source of light are made parallel. So parallel by means of collimating lens. So here by means of collimating lens, we are converting the inclined rays into parallel beams. So here we are converting the parallel lines by means of a collimating lens. And if the parallel rays are made to fall on a reflector, the rays reflect back. So here the rays are reflecting onto a surface, that is the plane reflector, and the rays are reflecting back, and travel in the same path. So travel in the same path and converges at the source through the lens. So by means of this collimating lens, again the reflecting beams are concentrating at a single point, that is converging at a single point. So next, so one more. So here it is the light source. So the light source is at O. So here this is the light source at O. So from light source, rays are emitting and it is falling on a collimating lens. By means of this collimating lens, the inclined beams are converting into parallel, and these parallel beams are falling onto a reflector. So this is the reflector. So this is the reflector. The reflector is making some inclination with a plane reflector. So here it is making an angle theta. So here it is making an angle theta inclination. So here it is making an inclination of theta. So this is the right. It is making an inclination theta with a perpendicular beam. So now the light rays are reflecting with an angle of 2 theta. So here this is the light ray from the collimating lens. Now the light ray is reflecting back with an angle of 2 theta. So with an angle of 2 theta here, now the reflecting plane is not parallel. So it is not perpendicular to our light rays. So it is making some inclination. Due to this inclination of theta, the light is reflecting with twice the angle. It means 2 theta. So if the reflector is tilted by an angle of theta as shown in figure B, so then the reflected rays. So here these are the projecting rays. So these are projecting rays, whereas these are reflecting rays. So then the reflected rays makes an angle of 2 theta, twice the angle of theta. The converging, and those are converges at a point of O dash. So and those all rays, the reflected rays are converging at O dash. So here the distance from O dash equal to 2 theta into F, where F is the focal length. It means the distance between the projection and the reflection. So distance between the source, it means the light source, and the lens. So here the where theta equal to 2, where O dash equal to 2 theta into F. So these are the two types of reflections. So here by means of parallel reflector, the rays are reflecting back and projecting on the same light source. Here, so here the reflecting plane is making some inclination so that the reflected rays are making 2 theta. So it means twice the angle of our reflection plane. So and it is projecting. It is converging and it is projecting at a point O dash. And it is projecting at O dash. So now working principle of our autocollimator. So here it consists of a light source. So here by means of light source, light is emitting. So here by means of slit means it consists of a reference plane. So here the light source is carrying the references also. So and it is projecting on a beam splitter. So it is a combination of 2 prisms. So here by means of this beam splitter, the light ray is splitting towards our component and again towards the line. So here by means of this, the light rays are deviating in 2 directions. So one light ray, the light ray is coming from the light source and it is projecting on beam splitter, and then the light ray is deviating or splitting into 2 components, and one light ray is reflecting on the collimating object and one more is reflecting on CCD line, that is a screen. So again from the collimating lens, the inclined beams are converting into parallel beams and it is projecting on the component. The component is having our reflective surface. By means of this reflective surface, the light rays are projecting back with some inclination towards the collimating lens. Again the collimating lens converging the lines and it is projecting onto the beam splitter, so that the light rays are again traveling on to the surface, onto the projecting screen. So here if there is any difference between the 2 points, then the surface, this surface is, so here this surface is making some inclination. If the 2 points, the projecting line, the projecting rays as well as the reflecting rays both coincides, then it is making 0 deflection. So there is one more explanation of operation. So by means of a lamp, it means by means of light source, light is emitting and it is falling on beam splitter. And then by means of this beam splitter, the light rays are dividing or splitting in 2 directions. So one type of rays are projecting on the component by means of collimating lens, and one rays are reflecting towards an eyepiece or the screen. So this is the schematic of autocollimator. So a cross-line target gadget is positioned at a focal plane. So this target cross-line. So this one is called cross-line. So a cross-line target radical is positioned at the focal plane of the telescope object. So coming back to this principle. So here is our cross line. So similarly, here this slit consists of this reference. When the target gadule is illuminated, rays of light diverging from the intersection point reach the objective via the beam splitter. So, with respect to beam splitter, it is projecting, and those are splitter and the projected. So, via beam splitter and are projected from object to as parallel. So, from object to lens, the beams are traveling in parallel ways. Next, in this mode, the optical system works as collimator. Next, a flat reflector placed in front of the objective and normal to the optical axis reflects parallel light back along with their original paths. So, they are then brought to the focus in the plane of target gadule and exactly coincide with the intersection. So, in the earlier cases, we discussed that the beams are reflecting in the same path. So, a portion of the return light passes straight through the beam splitter, and the return image of the target crosshair is therefore visible through the eyepiece. So, from the eyepiece, so here from an eyepiece, we are going to visualize this rays. So, if the reflector is tilted, so here if it is making an angle, if it is tilted for an angle, the reflected rays reflect twice the angle, reflected twice the angle of the tilt and brought to the focus in the plane of target gadule, but linearly displayed from the actual target of 2 theta. So here if it is making an angle theta, then the reflected rays makes an angle of 2 theta. Next. So the linear displacement of the gadule image is measured by an eyepiece. So here on the back side it consists of an eyepiece. Through the eyepiece we are going to visualize those rays. So autocollimator responds only to reflector tilt. So it only reflects to the reflector tilt. If the reflector on the in front of the objective lens, if it is tilt, if it is making an inclination, then only it responds. If it is making 0 degrees, it will not show any deflection. Focal length and the effective aperture and the factors determines the basic sensitivity and angular measuring range. So applications of autocollimators. So these are used for measurement of tightness and flatness. So for identifying the flatness of machine beds, we are going to use this autocollimator. So by means of this, we can get the flatness of the component. Next, precise angular indexing in conjunction with polygons. So by means of polygons, we can get the angular deflection. So comparative measurements using master angles. So by comparing the component with the master angles by means of collimator, we can get the angle of the component. So assessment of squareness and parallelism of components. So squareness and parallelism. So both angles can be identified by means of this autocollimator. Measurement of small linear dimensions. So small linear dimensions can also be measured by means of this autocollimator. Next, checking of an internal right angle. So internal right angle, that is 90 degrees. For checking that, we can use this autocollimator. Next, for machine tool adjustment setting. So for setting the tools on a machine, we can use this autocollimator. So these are the various applications of autocollimators. So these are the schematics of autocollimator. So here this is an eyepiece. So this one is eyepiece. So by eyepiece we are going to see the reflected plane. So here is the light source. By means of this light source, the light ray is emitting and it is falling on the beam splitter. From this beam splitter, the light rays are splitting and one is moving towards the collimating lens and one is towards the eyepiece.